Hey, it is Sneaked, aka Speebs from Lightbringer, coming to you with a 21 Grim Rail. My gear hasn't changed super much. I managed to get a heroic cache out of the vault last week. That was pretty sweet. Immediately equipped it. Go download the weak aura. I'll put it in the link below. Always use the axe. Pretend the other two don't exist, and you will do an excellent job. We had a 23. We decided to drop to 21. We're being a little bit of a cowards here or there. Just wanted to get the 20 out of the way. We had managed not to time in Iron Docks yet. We had attempted a 24 last week on Tyrannical that we were over time with without any wipe, so just need to do more damage. But we're starting off here right away with a really big pull, and we're going to play this in the regular speed here. You can see the tank's going to start gathering up these mobs. We're going to pull them together. We're going to use Heroism a little bit late here by accident. But what we're trying to do is just absolutely demolish this pull, get them in this corner here, and we're going to go hard. You can see I've already activated my new trinket, and I'm just starting my regular rotation. The reason we're pulling these guys in here is, of course, there's that inspired mob who's going to cause a little bit of a hassle. We don't manage to get them out of line of sight, but it's not a huge deal. With heroism and all of us blowing our cooldowns, you can see we have a lot of damage here, peaking at, 60, 70k on our BM Hunter Fuzzy there. I realized mid-pull that my evasion button has somehow escaped my bar. So I'm going to take care of that real quick because evasion's a strong mechanic, or a strong ability rather. But with that, we keep cleaving down, keeping Blade Flurry up. I recently updated my Blade Flurry weak aura last week to include a little chime ding if I ever lose the buff during combat. I thought this was a good idea given how important it is to maintain Blade Flurry. And a sound cue is super helpful because it is another thing I can possibly not miss to go with the glowing weak aura, amongst other things. That said, though, we're cleaning up these pulls. Feeling pretty good about that pull. Huge damage. We used a lot of abilities, cooldowns, and trinkets, but that's okay. Gonna finish off that mob, going to the next pack, and we're gonna play these at double speed. It is fortified this week, and of course we have Inspiring to go with Grievous. Nothing super terrible to worry about in this particular pull as a rogue. I've started using Kitty Shot a lot more, especially when we're single targeting mobs down with the talent where the mob takes 10% more damage. It just makes sense. My biggest finishers are hitting for like 17k, which means if my team does 170,000 damage during the 7-second stun, we've effectively done more damage with my Kitty Shots, or one of my finishers rather. Anyway, though, you can see me swap to Wind Poison here because it's Zolgamix time again. We're going to cleave down the rest of the mobs first, though. We realized that the Grievous was doing a lot of damage and stacking up here, and we thought it'd be best to reduce the healing needed as low as possible. Our Shaman's having a great time here, keeping us all alive. Tank's doing tank things, charging in, charging out, getting use of that Warrior Legendary. We have a little bit of trouble here, but we managed to pull it off and top up. And of course, Zolgamux is going to give us all full mana and health once she's dead. So we're all looking forward to that. Going to keep CCing the bat as it comes out. Going to keep doing the rotation properly. And going to keep doing damage. Alright, 2 pulls to go to the boss. Plus, of course, we want to get that last stack of the buff from the Shrouded mob in the corner here. Just going to cleave these down. Again, nothing super terrible to worry about on these pulls. We probably should have been targeting the Inspiring mob first here, just to give stuns and slows to the tank if we needed it. I realized that then, and we all swap over, and he dies. Look at that, perfect. Going to keep pushing here. Going to get that last Shrouded stack. This guy's hanging out in the corner here. Going to take care of him and go on to the boss. So, of course, this lovely boss here, Flesh Render Nakar, going to start on his mount. Going to be shivable. He has the Enrage. We have 2 Enrage Dispels in our group. And most importantly, we have a few different ways to dispel that magic buff he's going to give. So, swapping to 1.5 times speeds here. Going to finish off this mob and on to the boss. So, the thing to watch out for, of course, is he's going to dismount at 50%. We're going to take care of Dreadfang. And if he manages to cast his Retaliation, everyone that you love will die, including yourself. You can see here the boss is down. I'm doing my best to follow him around. I'm screaming. I'm running. I'm trying to keep my Venthyr ability working properly, but I just don't get many stacks here. It's unfortunate, but that's life. He's taken care of, though. I step in some fire arrows by accident, and nothing a quick heal can't take care of. And now I move on to the Flesh Render himself. You can see I'm tracking Reckless Provocation here in the corner of the screen. There it is popping up big to remind me it's happening soon. And the second that it's going to cast it on himself, we want to make sure we are nowhere near it and not mailing him with the 8-yard range of the melee. Of course, we can accidentally proc that even if we're far away, so I just find it best to swap targets or even just press the escape button to remove my target altogether. But between the shaman and the hunter, the spells we are able to pull through. Up next, we have a little bit of a sloppy of this bowling ball encounter here. We definitely could have got some more mobs, but in the end, this run's turning out pretty okay, so I don't want to hold anything against it here. We're going to get our 15 mobs here, moving forward, crushing guys. If you've watched any of the MDI videos that have come out from the Great Push, then you've probably seen the strat where you literally run ahead and pull one of these big Ogrons, the second one, because the first one, of course, is a Shrouded mob. But you can pull the second one with some Mumbo Jumbo magic, and we did not pull that off here. We haven't tried it yet. We've talked about it. I think we're going to try, maybe doing Alt Key later this week and giving it a shot. The Ogron has so much health on Fortified. I think it was like 3 or 4 million. We'll see it in a bit. But he is a big boy, and if we can kill him during this bowling ball phase here, then that is more than amazing and definitely a time saver. We ended up almost plus 2ing this one, but if we had done the Ogron skip properly, like they are doing in the Great Push, we definitely get 2-chested it. That said, though, just killing these mobs, again, they're not too dangerous. It's only a 21. We're running on Fortified, of course, which means the mobs have more health, but it's something we can't take care of. Keeping our Blade Flurry up here, targeting down the Inspired mob. I decided to mark him this time just because it's our first key of the week, and we haven't done Inspired since week 1, so we're all a little rusty, and it's no big deal. The mob goes down without a hitch, and we move on here. Gotta keep kicking these guys' butts. Now the most dangerous mob's instance is, of course, Skulllock before he actually is Skulllock and is just shooting at people. 3 of us managed to make it through, or 4 of us rather, with a little bit of a danger, but we're going to take down the Inspired mob again, try and reduce our damage taken as our healer tries to run to us. You can see me here kind of trying to play it safe, trying to dodge all of these beautiful, beautiful spinning axes. I'm getting flashbacks to Mechagon Workshop right now, but that's okay. We end up trying to do the Warlock skip here, and no one's actually paying attention properly, and I kind of die. So that's my most embarrassing pull of the dungeon. Thankfully, I already procced my cheat death, so I didn't proc it there. Or unthankfully? I'm not sure. Anyway, we decided to fight the Ogron. He's got 3.3 million health. I just shadow step across there. Or door shadows, rather. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to get killed by this thing again. I hate this part of the dungeon. It's my least favorite part of Iron Docks. It's so easy to die here. I don't know why. I just have to look at the freaking massive Ogron shooting cannons at me, yet I miss it every single time, it seems. Anyway, though, Ogron goes down, and we're going to continue on to the last pull before the trash. Fuzzy here, our hunter, is going to run forward just to get these cannonballs to stop, because we're all very sick and tired of them. As you can see, the second he crosses that little line there, the Ogron's going to stop shooting us, which is great, and we're going to keep cleaving these mobs down. I'm targeting the Grievous. Not Grievous, I'm carving the Inspired mob. We're kicking their butts. I misused my cooldowns here. I should have held the Flagellation and definitely held my cash, but lessons learned. I definitely need to be thinking about my cash more often, how I'm using it. Like any trinket, the more targets you can get, the better. And this is a great trinket boss right here. I definitely should have held it for like the 40 seconds just to get it on these mobs here. But of course, this trio of Grimreal Enforcers is up next the second we see the blood. The second we see the Sanguine Spear going out, we're swapping, and then swapping back again. I'm doing my best to dodge the flame waves that are coming out. We could definitely be doing a better job of kicking on Irok, but that's okay. We're pulling it off okay. Another Blood Shield's coming out. We're swapping targets here. Yet again, I again misplayed my Flagellation by accident here. And then I step in some Flame Wreaths by managing to proc my cheat death and stay alive. And we go back to Nessa again. I'm doing my best to use my 8 yards here to stay out of range of those traps. This is fortified, so probably wouldn't kill me, but hey, let's not find out. Thankfully, we've managed to DPS the caster and the hunter down close enough that she misplays and casts a Sanguine Spear on herself, letting us an easy kill on the hunter. I don't PvP, as you can probably tell. Anyway, though, Magok goes down, and we go to the last third of the dungeon here, with probably some of the most dangerous mobs. So this Wrangler, if you did a couple keys in the first couple weeks of this season, the Wrangler was an absolute monster. That serrated spear they threw was like ignoring armor and just annihilating tanks. Thankfully, it's been fixed and no longer such a big deal. But these pulls can still be a little rough. We're going to focus down the Inspiring mob here. Again, because we're focusing down, I'm going to use my Kidney Shot. Not realizing someone else already put Stun DR on it. That person being me. I am my own worst enemy, as per usual. I've been thinking about getting like a Stun DR tracker. I don't know if that exists. I assume it does for PvP reasons. But between like the Infernals from Destro Warlock or Shockwave, etc., like you start devaluing your 7-second kidney shot really quick if they've just been hit by some little micro stun or a 2-second stun. So being able to pull off that 7-second stun would be ideal in all scenarios, especially if we're trying to use that extra 10% damage taken from the rogue talent. Moving on, though, we've got the last big pull of this part of the dungeon. We're getting 100% off this pull, and we're going to kick these guys' butts. We're going to target the Wrangler. We're going to Blade Fury off here, and we take care of the Inspired mob and the rest of them here without much of an issue. This next pack here can be skipped using Shroud, but we don't actually need it here. We have pretty good timing. You can sneak by if you don't have a rogue, but we do, so I just end up hitting the button anyway just to make sure we're safe. And move on to Oshir, followed by Skolok real quick here. Something that I have already learned many times is you should not stand right there, because when the mob is RPing, he can kick your butt, and that's unfortunate. But we go into the boss. I am going to be popping off here in just a second. I get a great roll of bones off the start, and I get a free cast off of one of my conduits. And from there, we're going hard. I activate my bleed. I hit evasion, and I go to town on these boys with the Blade Flurry. Something I need to definitely do better is saving my tricks. So I tend to use my tricks on cooldown. It's just a habit I've had forever. It's off the GCD. It's really easy to press. It can proc things like the Venthyr ability where you get the shield. I can't remember his name at the moment. But I always use it on pull to help the tank get extra threat. But on those wolves, it's probably worth it to save it for when the wolves come out. They come about 15 seconds out into the fight, and getting the aggro from those mobs out ASAP is definitely more ideal, I think, than the boss aggro. Additionally, I'm using evasion the second those mobs come out. I do not want to get hit by them if I do pull aggro. And evasion's like a get a jail free card, much like Cloak, but for melee attacks, so hey, may as well use it. At this point, we've got 8 minutes left. We realize we're probably not +2ing this thing, so we decide just to opt for some extra stats and take care of this guy. I end up with a 62% crit, fully buffed, with the Infiltrator dead. And that's before, of course, the Between the Eyes stack as well from the 20%. So I'm rocking like 82% crit with my eye fully stacked up and all that fun stuff. And it's a 21 fortified. We're going to go town on this boss. We were talking about this boss during the poll, and it sounds like in the Great Push and MDI, their current strategy is just to kill Skolok first, and we realize we're not good players. If that's what you can actually do in this game, then oh my god, like what game are people playing? Not the one we are, because we're trash. Anyway, though, we managed to get the first mini-boss, Koromar. I went to university, like I can't even read words. Anyway, get Koromar down in one phase here. Gonna pop Blade Fury, keep it rolling here, taking care of his little boy on the cannon. We kick his butt as well, and Skolok's gonna go down. No super great rogue tricks for this fight. Obviously, we're playing Venthyr, so Door of Shadows is really powerful for getting up really quick. But we also have we also have Sprint and our beautiful grappling hook. Lots of ways to get up there quick. Should never be an issue. As you can see here, I'm going to use sprint. Just get behind the pillars here. No big deal. And then I'm going to use my grappling hook to get up here. After door of shadows. After door of shadows. Oh, I didn't do it. That's fine. And with that, we're just going to use heroism and take out the boss in this phase here. Some fun things you can do on this boss, of course. If you're being targeted by the cannon, you can use Cloak of Shadows to avoid the damage. You can use Feint for a number of abilities this boss, between the Blade Flurry, the Knockback, and the Stomp the ground does. There's lots of ways to avoid damage. Be a good rogue. Do your best. And with that, we managed to +1 it. We all got our teleports. We had plenty of time left. We dropped that from a 23 to 21. We had a couple of regrets there. We probably should have kept it as a 21. But that is the end of the dungeon. Thank you for watching the video. I'll be uploading yet another video for my mom to watch. I'm going to send her the link and tell her, this is what I do now. I'm quitting my job. This is my whole life.